Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time of day it is. I hope you're having a blessed one. So first, I want to go ahead and say this video is going to be a little bit longer than my other ones. And I am not saying for sure Elon Musk is the Antichrist. Let me just say that. I can't be for sure. I don't think anybody can, honestly. If you read the Bible, it's going to come like a thief in the night. I also think that might be to people who don't believe in God and aren't paying attention and looking around for signs. Nevertheless, I can't say for sure, like 100% certainty. But Elon is weird. I mean, he's exceptionally odd. We all talk about it. The dude's an alien. He's already a robot. Basically, this is just a compilation of all of the videos and the other content that I've been listening to and watching about Elon that has really just triggered my interest in him even more. Like most people, I've been keeping up with Elon since he came out with Tesla, the Boring Company, started talking about the underground tunnels. He was very innovative. The guy's a genius. And we all kind of were like, wow, at everything he's capable of. I used to just believe that the man was our Nikola Tesla. So it was kind of exciting. But the more he's becoming what he's turning into, buying up Twitter, advocating for free speech, he appeals to almost everybody. The left, the right, doesn't matter what you believe. People universally respect him. A crazy theory that I had, that because he owns Neuralink, which is directly related to the first video clip here, which is of that will.i.am interview. I had a theory that Elon Musk, because of everything going on, because of what's going on with Twitter, somebody is going to try to assassinate him. Or he will be killed, but he will not die. Revelations 13:3. And if that were to be the case, and honestly, it came out that he was killed, but he comes back from the dead because he owns Neuralink. Maybe he's already put the chip in there, so he comes back as a cyborg. Both options are absolutely crazy. Last thing I want to say before we get to the video, I've been analyzing myself and the things I've been studying, and I'm kind of shifting more towards the doom and gloom, and I really am not a doom and gloomy kind of guy. So I'm going to start redirecting the trajectory of my content, of what I'm going to start putting out. In the next, I guess 3 videos I put out, I'm going to be done with talking about the scary stuff. Ultimately, it's good news. The end of Revelations is true justice, so it's not a bad ending. Anyway, I'm done rambling. Let's get right to the video.
Right now, everyone's hooping and hollering that, yo, Elon Musk just bought Twitter. That's dope, right?
Right.
Depends on what he uses it for.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And let's hope that it's for all the right reasons.
Right.
Because he also owns Neuralink. And Neuralink is, the ability to, think into the machine without having to write. That's dope.
Wow.
And also AI. And the AI that he has is super important. But if Twitter's fire hose would be used to train the AI,
right?
Well, wow, if you needed data, that's like the biggest data pipe.
Right.
And if you need that data pipe to feed artificial intelligence, well, wow, now you got the most powerful AI on the planet
ever. Right.
Do we even got?
As a child, the boy Elon Musk attended an Anglican Sunday school and learned at a Jewish preschool. He probably knows more about the Bible and Christianity.
Do you have a spiritual life?
Well, it sort of depends on what spiritual means. And there's certainly things that we don't understand about the universe. But I'm less convinced that there's, say, some super consciousness watching over our every movement and kind of evaluating it against some criteria and deciding whether we're going to go to one place or another when we die. I think that's unlikely.
What do you worship?
Well, I don't really worship anything, but I do devote myself to the advancement of humanity using technology. And it does beg the question, if there is some superconsciousness, where did the superconsciousness come from? So I think the most likely explanation is that complexity evolved from simplicity. That the simple elements over time combined to become more complex and arrived at what we are.
Can science and religion coexist?
Probably not.
Do you pray?
I don't. I didn't even pray when I almost died of malaria.
Wow, that's really not praying.
Right.
So you put your money where your bug spray was.
Yeah.
You're blowing my mind. You deal with so much stuff. I mean, you deal with space travel and energy and the source of consciousness, and you're thinking about all of these giant life's big questions. What blows your mind? What gives you awe?
Well, I think the nature of the universe gives me awe, and just the huge expanse of the universe, and how far away things are and how big they are. And the fact that there are things like supermassive black holes that are equal to 1 billion suns. You know.
What about dark matter? Doesn't that freak you out too?
Yeah, and dark matter is also, I mean, dark matter and dark energy are kind of interesting, because I'm not sure what those actually are. You know, people don't know what those actually are, and particularly dark energy. In fact, you know, that may be an argument for this being a simulation, because in a simulation, you can just make things be however you want. The laws don't all have to be consistent.
Okay, how many people have actually read the Bible?
Fewer than probably say they have, but...
Oh yeah, I mean...
Do you have
I mean, at one point, I you know, when I was a kid, I had this existential crisis, and I was trying to figure out what's the meaning of life. And I was like, oh, it all means nothing. It's all, and I you know, read like a whole bunch of religious books, including the Bible, and I'm like, there's a bunch of things in there they didn't teach you in Sunday school. Sodom and Gomorrah, dark. Yikes. Yeah, God sure changes his mind from the Old Testament to the New Testament. I'm like, whoa, that's pretty vengeful in the Old Testament. Maybe we can have a chapter past Revelations.
But like, is there a happy ending here? Revelations Part 2, the happy ending?
We're wondering if you could do us a quick solid and accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior.
I mean, let's just say, like, I agree with the principles that Jesus advocated. You know, there's great wisdom in the teachings of Jesus, and I agree with those teachings. And things like turn the other cheek are very important, because as opposed to an eye for an eye leaves everyone blind. So forgiveness, you know, is important, and treating people as you would wish to be treated. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Very important. Jesus was obviously very pro-alcohol, you know, because one of his miracles was turning water into wine. Yeah. And that was like, they were having a party, they ran out of wine, okay? And they're like, let's keep this banter going. Good stuff. Who can solve this problem? We're out of White Claws. Friggin' store's closed. And Jesus is like, I gotcha. Okay, water, now wine. And like, party on, you know? So, you know, accurate. Pro-partying with alcohol is literally one of the miracles. If Jesus is saving people, I mean, I wouldn't stand in his way, you know, like, they'll be sure. I'll be saved, why not? I wouldn't stand in his way. I wouldn't stand in his way.
It really doesn't matter whether Elon Musk is a Jew, Christian, Muslim, or irreligious. The thing that matters is that Elon Musk is a good human who is focused on saving humans by making us a multiplanetary species. You may not agree with Musk on religion, but you must admire his selflessness for humanity.
What Elon Musk says and what he does are, I think it's safe to say, not the same thing. When he has been famously warning that artificial intelligence and the takeover by artificial intelligence could mean the end of humanity as we know it.
I try to convince people to slow down AI, to regulate AI. This was futile. I tried for years. Nobody listened.
No one.
Maybe they will. So far they haven't.
Okay, fair enough. I agree with all that. But then why, having said that repeatedly, as you can see, does he start a company called Neuralink, which is there to develop ways of connecting computers to the human brain? AI, in other words, to the human brain. What? Sorry, Elon, I thought you said it could be the end of humanity. Why are you involved in a company that's doing it then? What comes to mind is good cop, bad cop, really. You've got the good cop, Elon Musk, I care about humanity, I care about freedom of speech, and very worried about AI. And bad cops like Ray Kurzweil, the executive at Google, the so-called futurist, who is saying quite openly By 2030 or around then, we will be connecting AI to the human brain. And as he says, once that connection is made, AI will do more and more of human thinking, and human thinking as we now know it will become less and less, and in the end, negligible. If technology can help people who have physical problems, etc., and problems with the way that their limbs work, then I'm all for getting the technology to help them, yes. But that's not what this is all about. That's the sales pitch. Here's a question. Elon, maybe you can answer this one. How do you create a cloud which covers the entire planet, thus allowing the connection of everyone to AI? If you want to create this global cloud that Kurzweil talks about, then you have to do it from space. You put up tens of thousands of low orbit satellites, so it completely rewrites the sky in terms of what it looks like. Who's going to do that, I wonder? I wonder who has got permission already to put some 40,000 low orbit satellites up there through a system called Starlink. Oh, it's only Elon Musk. First, get people addicted to technology they hold, smartphones. Then get wearables, as they call them, where people put technology on their bodies. So you're then leading them down the road to implantable microchips. If you could come up with an advanced smartphone that went even closer in what it can do and how it connects to you, to implanting microchips in the body. I wonder who's doing that. Elon? Elon?
Elon Musk was recently entering a vehicle surrounded by security guards, and people were yelling out to him, and he said, "Guys, I am not ever again going to do any signings." And the reason for this is that over the weekend, in a live discussion, Elon mentioned that the threats to his life are actually very significant. Assassination risk, quite significant. The ability of our law enforcement to solve these problems no longer exists. And you know it. Elon Musk was speaking over the weekend, and he was asked about any kind of law enforcement actions that might, I should say, DOJ or investigatory or regulatory actions that might go against him. And he says, look, government's slow. Okay, they can't respond to this. And he's right. Elon Musk just landed at Dulles Airport and announced to the world he is done signing autographs. Maybe if he sees this, he can send me one.
Right here. Elon, we won't move, Elon, please. Stay alive, please, Elon. Just one each. Just for Christmas, one each.
To be clear, I'm not doing any more signings ever again.
After tonight?
No.
And that's it. He says, I'm not doing any more signings ever again. Now, in this video, he doesn't explicitly say that it's due to the assassinations. However, they say the news comes after Musk said during a chat on Twitter Spaces Saturday afternoon that the risk to his security has increased in recent months. Musk told listeners that he would definitely not be doing any open-air car parades, let me put it that way. Frankly, the risk of something bad happening to me or even literally being shot is quite significant. It's not that hard to kill somebody if you wanted to. So hopefully they don't, and fate smiles upon the situation with me and it does not happen. There's definitely some risk there.
Sometimes I'm not on time. But I get it done.